How to build a BMX bike, Part 1. Sponsored by the instructional DVD, Ground Rules. Bike's going to straighten out, and the handlebars are going to make a T with it. That's halfway through. Let the frame continue to swing around. Put your left foot on the top tube. More info about Ground Rules at mattbmx.com.
Hey, what's up? I'm Matt Wilhelm. I'm a pro BMX flatland rider. Been riding for about 15 years. I know a lot about bikes and bike parts, and today I'm going to show you how to build a bike. I have here the simple frame, and what I like about this frame is one thing: the top tube is pretty short. It's only 18.8 inches long. On a normal bike, maybe you have 21 inches. So with a shorter top tube, the bike's a lot easier to maneuver. The head tube is also a lot steeper. It's about 76.5 degrees. So what this means, when you're spinning the handlebars around, they spin a lot faster and the bike's just a lot quicker. The top tube is a lot lower. On a normal bike, your top tube might come up to about here. So what this means is when you're trying to get your feet over that top tube for some tricks, it's going to be a lot easier. The down tube is also higher, kind of like a mirror of the top tube. So it's easier to get your foot under there. And that's pretty much it. That's why I like this bike. Let's get started. Alright, the first thing that we want to do is attach the frame to the fork. And in order to do that, we have to put the bearings and the headset on the fork. So I have here, there's a little hammering involved. I have some old shoes here, and we're using these to protect the bottom dropouts of the fork when we hammer. So we're just going to take the shoes, put the fork in there. Now you're going to take that bearing race that goes all the way at the bottom of the headset, slide it over the top of here now. Now here is what you want. You want an old headset cup from an old bike, and what you're going to do is take this, slide this over the top, and now you're going to hammer on that because you don't want to be hammering the actual bearing race. You don't want to damage that. And this will also help it go on evenly. So I'm just going to start hammering this, and this is probably the only time you're going to have to use a hammer on your bike. You also want to hammer kind of each side a couple of times so it goes on evenly. If you hammer the left side too many times, it might go on a little crooked and stretch it out. So just kind of hammer it on evenly, and just about done here. And this is what it should look like when it's done. Alright, before we put the frame and the fork together, we have to put the bearings on the fork. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to take this grease, and I have an old spoke. I like to use a spoke because then I don't really get my fingers too greasy, so I'm just going to put a little bit of grease on here, put it on the spoke, just spread it around this bottom bearing race. And I'm doing this just because I never really like to have metal on metal contact on the bike. So I'm just going to spread just a little bit of grease on here. And what I'm going to do now, I have my old t-shirt here just to kind of wipe everything down. And then you take the bearings, just slide them right over the top. This is an internal headset, so it's really easy to install. So now the bearing is on the fork, moves, everything's cool. I'm just going to take this frame right here, just slide it right through. Almost done, about halfway. Now I'm going to take this, the top bearings, just slide them right over the top, right into the frame. As I said, it's an integrated headset, so it's real easy to do that. And then just slide that. I'm going to take the top cap, slide this over the top as well. That's a little bit harder to get on, but that's good because then you know you're getting a real good seal on there. Now if you have any kind of spacers, you're going to want to put that over that. And if you're running a gyro, which I'll be putting on some brakes later, make sure that you put your gyro piece on now. Otherwise, later you're going to take everything apart. So put on your gyro piece and put on the top gyro plate. And then you're ready to install the stem and the handlebars. Alright, let's get this headset tightened down. We need to put the stem on, but in order to do that, I think it's easier if we attach the handlebars to the stem first. So I'm just going to loosen the Allen bolts on the stem, and then I'm going to attach the handlebars. Alright, so I got the front plate of the stem off. I'm just going to take the handlebars, put them right in the stem just like this, and put the front plate back on, tighten these down pretty good now. You don't have to get your handlebars in the exact position where you want them, but you want this pretty tight because you're going to be pushing down on the stem to get the headset compressed. I'm going to give these last couple of torques right here on these bolts, and I'll adjust my handlebar position later on. Now we're ready to put the stem on the frame. So I'm going to come over here and just kind of push down, hold the bottom of the fork, and just push this down on here enough for now. And what we're going to do here, we're going to go back to our spoke and grease, because we're almost done with this part. We're going to put this bolt right here, just tie it down right on the top of the stem. So I just want to put a little bit of grease on this bolt, because it'll just keep it from getting stripped out here in the future. So I'm just going to put this around here and just kind of tighten it down with my fingers, and we'll be just about ready to go. Alright, the next thing we want to do is put the seat and seat post on the bike. And we want to put the seat and seat post on because after we do that, then we can flip the bike upside down and it'll give us a good working base, a good foundation. So I'm just going to take this bike over here, and what I want to do first is just put a little bit of grease inside of the seat tube. And again, I never like metal on metal contact, so I'm just going to put a little bit of grease on my spoke. Just rub it down in there like that. Don't need a whole lot. And that'll keep your seat post from getting stuck in there as well in the future if you ever want to take it out. Now I'm ready to put the seat clamp over just like that. I'm going to take the seat post, put this in, get it kind of roughly where you think you might want it, and then we're just going to tighten these bolts down right here. Alright, now we need to attach the seat to the seat post. And here's your basic BMX seat. Now normally you have these old seat guts, and these are really, really heavy, and they're kind of hard to work on, so we're just going to ditch those right there. My seat post is called a micro adjust, and what basically happens is the bottom rails of the seat right here, they just kind of go in these slots right on here, and you just basically tighten everything down, and it's way easier to work on, and it's a lot lighter too. So I'm just going to fasten these on here, and we'll be pretty much good to go. Okay, now I'm just going to kind of put the seat where I think it's going to be. We can come back to this later on. But I want to tighten it down pretty good now, because for the remainder of pretty much this bike assembly, the bike is going to be upside down and resting on the seat.